Hello, am I audible? Am I audible?
Yeah, Preeti, you're audible. We
Thank
can't see you, but
you. Yeah, if you don't mind, I'm keeping my
yeah, yeah,
video off.
sure. Good evening, friends. Um, this is in continuation with the Injury Prevention Week and in preparation for the Spinal Cord Injury Day. We have in the next a series of events, and today we have a panel discussion on power of the mind. I hope you can all hear me well. I would, yeah, yeah, Komal.
Said yes.
Yeah. So I would request all those who are not speaking to kindly keep their devices on mute. We would not want the deliberations during the session to be interrupted by any background noise per se. So, friends, we have got together today to explore a theme that lies at the very heart of human resilience, the power of the mind. Uh, Life often tests us with challenges that may seem unsurmountable. Uh, for some, these challenges come in the form of a spinal cord injury, an event that can change the course of the life in an instant. And yet, there are countless inspiring examples of individuals who have refused to let this define or limit them. Yes, you guessed it right. Amongst all those that we talk about, I think we remember Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia, our mentor, our godfather, who founded Indian Center. Would request all those not speaking to kindly keep their devices on mute. So, apologies. So, by harnessing the incredible strength of the human mind, by staying positive, and by discovering their unique abilities, such individuals have not only rebuilt their lives, but have also risen to achieve remarkable success. They are living proof of the saying, where there is a will, there is a way. So, friends, in tribute to our godfather and mentor, we have this panel discussion, The Power of the Mind. But we are joined by not any less extraordinary individuals. We have panelists with us, and we have the privilege to have them with us for the panel discussion today. They are role models who demonstrate that resilience, determination, and optimism can transform adversity into opportunity. Through their stories, we will not only understand how they turned challenges into victories, but also reflect on what each one of us, as members of the larger community, can learn from them. Because the power of the mind is not just for a few, it is something we all can tap into in our daily lives to overcome obstacles, big or small. So, friends, let us welcome our distinguished panelists as we begin this meaningful discussion on power of the mind. Um, the participants of this webinar, friends, we have with us Preeti Srinivasan, founder of Soul Free, recently completed her PhD. Uh, uh, recently also won the Devi Award for Empowered Women 2025, being the latest one in the long list of her awards. A writer, employed full-time at moviebuff.com from 2012 to 2018, captain of the under-19 Tamil Nadu's cricket team, uh, ICA Women's Cricket Representative to TNC Apex Council 2019. She was a national level swimmer, exceptional in academics as well. She was amongst the top 2% of American students in 1996 and appeared in the 1995-96 edition of the Who's Who amongst America's students. Member of the advisory board for the welfare of the differently abled in Tamil Nadu, elected as student representative to the board of directors of the Society for Disability Studies, a prestigious international body 2021. So welcome, Dr. Preeti Srinivasan, to this webinar. We also have Dr. Komal Kamra, who is retired as Associate Professor of Zoology, University of Delhi, adjunct scientist, Ciliate Biology Research Lab, Acharya Narendra Dev College, University of Delhi. Several publications in peer-reviewed journals, chapters in books, principal investigator of several research projects, supervision of PhD students, presentations at conferences, organization of several national and international conferences, founder member Indian Society of Ciliate Biology, affiliate of INSCR and International Society of Protestology, peer counselor, and life member and member executive, Spinal Cord Society, founder member Ekatvam, a self group for epilepsy, founder member Equal Opportunity Cell, University of Delhi, secretary and founder member the Spinal Foundation, member Science Task Force Spine 20, and a national awardee of 2004. Welcome, Dr. Komal Kamra. Welcome also Dr. Amita Sani, Professor of Anesthesiology and Intensive Care at Vardhaman Mahavir Medical College and Safdarjung Hospital, New Delhi. A respected clinician and academician, she has contributed to research in anesthesiology, including perioperative risk management, an active voice for accessibility in healthcare, having supported initiatives like the creation of accessible hospital infrastructure for persons with disabilities. Welcome, Dr. Amita Sani. We have Ms. Madhvi Hans, a social entrepreneur and disability advocate. She won gold medal in the state parachuting championship, founder and president of Special Achievers, a grassroots NGO dedicated to empowering people with disabilities through mentorship, accessible infrastructure, wellness programs, and awareness campaigns. Welcome, Madhvi Hansji. Welcome to the webinar. Then we have Mr. Rajdeep Barua, technology strategy consultant with Infosys. His happy escape is books, and he's a 10-meter air pistol shooter. So we have a very esteemed panel with us today to discuss on a very important topic, the power of the mind, right? And we look forward to a very interesting webinar today. Friends, we will put some questions across to each panelist, and we'll start with the first question. Kindly give your brief personal journey and mindset shift. Your brief story, your injury, initial struggles and turning point, the role of acceptance and resilience in rebuilding life, how positivity and determination redefined your self-image. So shall we start this with Dr. Preeti Srinivasan?
Namaste. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here. I'm happy as always to join such a beautiful panel. Thank you. My story, well, what can I say? I was 18. At the age of 18, I had my accident. So, before difficulty or pain or everything I did, I succeeded at. Seemingly, that was the only way my life could go. And then suddenly, it was a complete, I was shattered. I went for a college excursion. I fell into 2 feet of water. I actually dove in very comfortably as I've done a million times because I started swimming at the age of 3. And then I had this accident in a split second, and then I became paralyzed below the neck. It took me, I think, years to even figure out that I'm not going to get up and walk the next day. Because the first few years, every day I went to sleep thinking that tomorrow is the day I'm going to walk. But yeah, without acceptance that, well, you have something that's not going to just get fixed, nothing can happen. We need to shift from why me to why not me. And I think we need the family support is key. And I got the love of my parents, and they continued to take care of me, even though I was very difficult. At some point, I was very angry, and I was not the easiest person to handle at all. But they stayed with me, and their love gave me the strength to come back. And then I decided to do something about it. And then I started Soul Free, which is now an organization that is supporting thousands of people facing spinal cord injury. And we have started what we think is India's first integrated spinal cord injury rehabilitation center in Tamil Nadu, and it is supporting hundreds. And we are optimizing their self reliance from a physiological, psychological, and socioeconomic perspective. And when I can see a person who came to us bedridden, who came with worms in his bed sore, and then suddenly is now able to walk with calipers and is able to rebuild, I think that gives me the resilience to continue with my pain, and because it's so rewarding. So this is positivity and determination. Without it, I don't think it's possible to move on at all. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Preeti. Uh, a great story, a great struggle, and then ultimately, you have shown great resilience, and with positivity and determination, you have bounced back, and you are helping so many others to get back to a normal lifestyle. Compliments. Dr. Komal Kamra, can we request you now to share your story?
Yeah, this will be brief. In 1993, 14 members of our family went to the hills for a holiday, fell 700 feet, 3 deaths, lots of broken bones, one head injury, and 2 spinal cord injuries, my mother and I. There was enough to deal with, so had no time to reject or accept. The inner self knew that there was no option but to try rebuilding life. Perhaps I had seen enough ups and downs in my life, and this seemed like just another down. I didn't realize that this was abysmal. Was it bravery? No, it wasn't. Did I care about my new self? No, I didn't. I had dealt with leukoderma at the age of 16. That's it.
No. Thank you, Dr. Komal Kamra. Uh, we know the struggle that you've been through, and how together with your mother you fought the challenge, and you proved you proved again, where there's a will, there's a way. Dr. Amita Sani, could we request you to unmute and share your story with all the participants and friends?
Yes, thank you and good evening. My story is simpler, in fact, the same again. Fall of the car in the hills. We lost some members, but yes, acceptance was early. I think, like Dr. Kamal says, no choice, or maybe I knew what it meant being a doctor. So once the acceptance came, and of course, like family and friends are there, but my husband especially. So I knew that I actually behaved like a dead frog. So I left it to him, whatever he said, you have to do this, we have to do this. I went along. So I only focused on what I had to do, and what, I did not read anything. I could not Google anything. I did not find out what are my choices. So I just went along. I had to focus and do what I'm doing, you know, to getting more independent, or the recovery if and when it happens, it will happen. So that is the route And I think the most important thing was preventing negativity coming in, because everybody would come and would obviously want to know when you're going to get better, when are you going to walk, when are you going to walk. So to avoid that, no social media and no, you know, the so that was the road to getting better, I think,
Thank you, Dr.
and
Hamza
getting
Dani.
independent.
Yeah, very important words. I think all our panelists would agree that acceptance is a very key step forward, and that's a great milestone which helps you accept the challenge and move forwards positively. And the other thing you mentioned about is positivity. No, don't allow negativity to be there. So thanks, Madhvi ji. आप सबको अपना परिचय देंगे और बताएंगे कि आपकी स्टोरी कैसी रही।
अनम्यूट।
आपकी आवाज अनम्यूट कर दीजिए।
हेलो।
हाँ जी, हाँ जी, आप सुन रहे हैं।
मैंने मास्टर्स डिग्री कंप्लीट किया था कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी से, और एक रोड एक्सीडेंट में जब मुझे पता चला कि मैं वॉक नहीं कर पाऊंगी, एक नॉर्मल लाइफ तक मैं नहीं पहुंच पाऊंगी, तो वो मेरे लिए एक्सेप्ट करना इनिशियल स्टेज पे थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट था। और सबसे ज्यादा मुझे उसको एक्सेप्ट करने में मेरी फैमिली ने मुझे काफी सपोर्ट किया। वो चीज इसलिए मेरे लिए बहुत इजी हो गई। स्पेशली मेरे ब्रदर ने, फादर ने मुझे काफी सपोर्ट किया। मुझे हमेशा बोलते थे कि आपके पास दो ऑप्शंस हैं, या जो आपकी कंडीशन है उससे आप उसको और वर्स्ट करो, या फिर उसको एक्सेप्ट करके जो आपके पास और बेस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटीज हैं उससे लाइफ को मूव ऑन करो। फैमिली बिजनेस था, मेरे पास एक अपॉर्चुनिटी थी कि मैं अपने फैमिली बिजनेस को ज्वाइन करूं, तो ब्रदर के साथ मैंने अपना फैमिली बिजनेस ज्वाइन किया, जिसमें मुझे 18 इयर्स हो गए हैं अपने उस करियर में। उसके साथ साथ मुझे धीरे धीरे लगा कि मैं स्पेशली एबल्ड्स के लिए काम करना चाहती हूँ, जिससे मुझे एक सेटिस्फेक्शन होगा। मैंने उसको हैप्पीली एक्सेप्ट किया और मैंने मूव ऑन किया लाइफ को।
थैंक यू माधवी हंस जी। Rajdeep, you are there?
Yes, yes. Just can you hear me?
Would you give your brief personal story and mindset shift?
Yeah, yes, sir. I mean, my story is nothing extraordinary and much more similar to what Madhuri ji just said. So, yes, the initial struggles are, I mean, the acceptance was a bit hard, knowing the fact that, I was always moving, traveling around, nationally, internationally, both. Yeah, but then, as time passes on, and then, we take this with a pinch of salt that, okay, this is what it is. And I mean, we have to navigate and adapt. So I think, yes, sir. True. It was difficult, but yes, as we move ahead, I think we become more adaptive, and then we learn to accept things and also cherish and be grateful and with gratitude that we are still alive and living a life fulfilling, um, you know, playing our roles in a society and as a human being, as someone's son and brother. So yes, it takes time, but we all get there somehow.
Great. Preeti, would you want to summarize? Is there something similar between the personal journeys of all the panelists and how their mindset shifted, or what do you think helps people to accept and rebuild life? Preeti?
Yeah, to me, I think it is definitely a life-altering, shattering condition that happens and is very traumatic for everyone. I think the single most important thing that brings us out of it is the family support. And After that, if we are able to come to terms, the level of injury also, I think, makes a big difference. If it is slightly lower and you have hand and finger function, you can be more independent. And if you're able to have that kind of self-reliance, then it's easier to get out. The higher the level of injury, the more difficult it is. But people who decide and are given that rehab so that they can do their own things, I think these are the two most important things. One is you have peers who are able to support and get you out of it. You have family support. You have the financial infrastructure to go and get rehabilitation. And then the more independent you become, I think the easier it gets.
So, very important points that you mentioned, Preeti. The family support. माधवी हंस जी हमेशा बात करती हैं कैसे उनके भाई के सपोर्ट के कारण वो अपना जीवन ना खाली खुशहाल बना पाए बट लोगों के जीवन भी खुशहाल बना पाए. So the family support is very essential. Peer support is very essential, and of course the ability to get a comprehensive rehabilitation. Because unless you get rehabilitated comprehensively, unless you are able to be independent yourself, you can't get back to a normal lifestyle and contribute with positivity and help others. So that was very well said. Any of the panelists want to say something else in this regard, or we move forward? Komal, you wanted to say something?
No, I think we go ahead. Yeah.
Fine. So now coming to the next question, we'll start with you, Komal ji. How did you harness your inner strength, right? The specific mental strategies used, visualization, affirmations, meditation, or goal setting? Or was it overcoming fear, self-doubt, and stigma with self-belief? Stories where mind triumphed over physical limitations. Can you share some of these episodes? You're muted, Komal.
Yeah. So for me, I didn't go through a structured rehab. In 1993, there wasn't anything for me. Just got piecemeal information from here and there. I didn't know any other goal but to get back to work, get the finances to get the house going for the 5 little children that I had now, 2 of my own and 3 of my sisters who were snatched away by destiny. So for me, I didn't know the small goals that we talk about in rehab now. I just knew the big goal that I have to get money and I have to run this house and I have to look after these 5 children. So that is what kind of made me cross over, I think.
Great. Thank you. Dr. Amita Sani, your story, your experience in this regard?
In this regard, actually, for me, I was very fortunate, I think. Maybe I understood, I didn't think of it, I knew that I had to focus and get back, it was losing independence when you cannot walk. So it was doing your rehab. I did go through visualization, which people told me, my family and friends. Affirmation daily. I had people, again, family print out my affirmations for me, which I would read at least 5 times a day. Also goal setting, and I think Dr. Chhabra, you were the one who first said, now you write where you want to get back to work and we work backwards from there. So every little, from affirmations to visualization to goal setting. And of course, stories when we talk about, Meria Aluwalia and, Dr. Mary Varghese, but these came in much later, In the first 3 months, I don't think I was even aware what I'm doing, I was just doing. Those came much later, I think. Not in the initial 3, 4, 5 months after which I went back to work. And of course, fear of losing independence was there, but this is what helped, little by little. And every little goal, was a great achievement for me, whether it was turning by myself or just using the washroom or opening the door by myself. So I think we celebrated each of that.
So, did you ever have the fear that you may not be able to get back to a normal lifestyle, the self-doubt, and the stigma associated
Did
with the
of course
disability?
no stigma, but I was aware that there are some things I cannot do and can do, and I think that probably got more clarity to me in life. I can do, I cannot do, I want to do, I don't want to do. Before that, I would do lots of things, everything. Now, on the other hand, now I think there was more clarity. Doubts did come in, but I think the fact that the family was always there, probably I was fortunate enough to not realize what can, not be so easy.
माधवी जी, आपने कैसे अपने अंदर वो शक्ति जगाई? क्या आपने स्ट्रैटेजीज यूज की? मतलब क्या आपको भी कभी डाउट हुआ कि मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगी, या मतलब आत्मविश्वास कभी खोया? तो मतलब क्या चीजें थी जिससे आप इन चीजों से उभर के बाहर सक्सेसफुली निकल पाए?
सर, मैं स्कूल टाइम से पेंटिंग्स किया करती थी। तो मुझे लगता था कि मैं दोबारा से अपना जो भी फीलिंग्स है मैं उस पे एक्सप्रेस करने का ट्राई करती थी, और अपनी लाइफ में जो मैं ड्रीम्स देखती थी मुझे लगता था मुझे उसको किसी भी तरह से पूरा करना है। तो मैं अपनी लाइफ को बड़ा कलरफुल फील करती थी, तो मुझे लगता था कि मैं पेंटिंग्स में वो सारे रंग भर दूं जो मैं अपनी लाइफ में फील करती थी। तो इनिशियल स्टेज पे मैंने काफी पेंटिंग्स बनाई और एग्जीबिशंस लगाना स्टार्ट किया। 3 से 4 साल जब मैंने काफी पेंटिंग्स और एग्जीबिशंस किया, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे मुझे लगा कि ये मेरे ऊपर डिपेंड करता है कि मुझे लाइफ को पॉजिटिव वे में लेके जाना है या नेगेटिव में। तो मुझे लगा कि मैं लाइफ को अब इजीली मूव ऑन कर सकती हूँ, और मैंने धीरे धीरे अपना फैमिली बिजनेस में स्टार्ट किया और मैंने फुल टाइम अपना करियर उसी से शुरू कर दिया। तो मेरी स्ट्रेंथ यही थी कि फैमिली सपोर्ट कर रही थी, तो मुझे लगता था कि कोई भी किसी को भी अगर स्पाइनल कॉर्ड इंजरी है तो एक बैकबोन अगर नहीं है तो फैमिली उसकी बहुत बड़ी बैकबोन है। वो उसको पूरा स्ट्रेंथ अप करके आगे मूव ऑन करने के लिए, अगर वो साथ खड़े हैं तो लाइफ में उतना टफ कुछ भी नहीं।
बहुत बढ़िया। तो आपने अंदर का वो पैशन जो पेंटिंग का था वो जगाया, और
हाँ
उसके थ्रू अपनी जिंदगी में मतलब वो एक जो क्या कहते हैं खुशहाली लाए, जिस अच्छी सोच लाए, जिससे आप इससे उभर के बाहर निकल पाए और चुनौती को
जी।
स्वीकार करके सक्सेसफुली। और ऑफ कोर्स फैमिली सपोर्ट तो आप हमेशा बोलती हैं कि कैसे फैमिली सपोर्ट से आपने अपने आप को दोबारा से एक अपने पैरों पे फिर से खड़ा किया, नहीं? सो राजदीप, कैन वी हैव योर स्टोरी ऑन दिस?
Sorry, Shabar. So I'm having a very troublesome network. Can you please repeat the question? What exactly
Yeah,
is
I
the
will
question?
just put that question across to you. Say, how did you harness your inner strength, Rajdeep? Were there any specific mental strategies that you used, visualization, affirmations, meditation, or goal setting? Did you need to overcome the fear, self-doubt, and stigma with self-belief? Or were there any stories where mind triumphed over physical limitations which help you come out strongly and accept the challenge?
Mm. Yes, sir. So, I mean, I still remember, sir, when I was there admitted and I was doing my rehab under you, Shanum ma'am, Ankit sir. And I don't you and everyone else was asking, "Aapka goal kya hai?" I want to run, I want to walk, and I do this and I do that. Right? Um, yeah, I mean, uh, like I said, sir, जो एक टाइम के बाद चीजें अपने आप मतलब इजी हो जाती है फिर आई थिंक inner strength. I think, sir, the biggest I think challenge that I faced was accepting the realities. That, but at the same time, I think a person with spinal cord injury, जो छोटी छोटी चीजें जो हम डेली करते हैं जो एक नॉर्मल इंसान फॉर ग्रांटेड लेते हैं, I think we are already trying. I think we are already people like if we are already champions of that we are breathing. हम already जीत चुके हैं life in any way. I think the inner strength. I think I I don't think so that I know when I told Shanu ma'am one day it's difficult. And Shanu ma'am told me कि take one day, and that really stood still today. Every day I wake up and I just even if there's a bad day or a good day, and it just I have to make it through the way. So every day is a battle. Every day is a challenge, and every day is a gratitude that I am living. I'm breathing. So sir, honestly, this is how I think. So it's a question is very deep, sir, but on a higher level, that is how I think I've kept your and Shanumam's word along that, each day is a gratitude and I'm breathing, smiling, and you have to live your life every day. उतना ही सर आगे का मैं इतना नहीं सोच रहा था कि आगे क्या होगा and what is going to happen and how we're going to like let's say कभी thoughts आते हैं कि okay now that I'm young and I'm taking those I can do the shift whatever I'm old how will I do the shifting and then gradually I stop thinking and I just just live in the moment. Yeah, I think that's how it has been.
Rajdeep, would you tend to agree with Dr. Amita that one of the main steps forward is accepting the physical limitations and moving forward positively with what you have and making the best use of that. So once the day that you are able to accept that, okay, I may have lost this, but I still have this and I have to make best use of that. That's the day that you start moving forward very positively and strongly.
Yes, sir. No, yeah, I actually absolutely believe that. Um, you know, mm, it's just the fact that sometimes it's just the fact that the accessibility issues. That people don't understand in India. कि भाई accessibility कितनी बड़ी challenge है for normal people that they don't even think. That's a bigger. Two steps can make it can be big thing for us. But then, like you said, right, Chet, once you accept things and move forward, I think that is how it is going to be. Because it is at the end of the day, we have to figure a way out. So either we can हम एक वो चीज को लेके हम बैठ सकते हैं और या तो हम उस चीज का एक solution निकल के आगे बढ़ सकते हैं. So in a country like India, if we keep cursing the democracy for the potholes, I think we don't know when the potholes will be filled, but at least we will learn to navigate our lives through those potholes and move forward. So, sir, yeah. I totally agree with what you're saying, and I also agree with my dear panelist on that.
And then whatever we may say, it's a big life-changing event, and it takes some time for you to accept what has happened and then move forward positively in this regard. No matter there
Yeah.
may be chabras or other doctors who may be saying you are able to get back to a normal lifestyle, you should accept the challenge and move forward. पर तब वही लगता होगा ना डॉक्टर साहब जिस पे बीतती है वही समझ सकता है. So it is a difficult ask, but I'm sure that with the help of peer support, as was talked about, I think Komal said and Dr. Amita also said, peer support, when you see that they have successfully come out of it, that's the day that when you feel, okay, I can also do so, right?
Yes,
Preeti?
I totally agree.
Yeah. Preeti, so we'd want to hear from you in this regard.
Yes. At least with my level of injury, I don't feel it gets any easier. We just get better at navigating it. Um, for me, I think three things have helped me get out of it. One is our spiritual roots. We came back to a place called Tiruvannamalai, which is a very spiritual city, in which some great sages, some rishis have been here, and they spoke about something called Advaita, and that we are one with the world, and we are not limited to this body. So I got a very deep thing about that. I don't have to limit myself to the boundaries of my body, to the limitations of my body, and that helped me a great deal. And like ma'am was saying, my art art is a great art, music, dance, whatever you can do to feel good about yourself is very therapeutic, and it gives a sense that we can be creators again. So I think that has a great deal of value. for me, it was my spiritual roots and sports. I was a sports person, so in sport we always develop this never say die kind of attitude, and in that way, I felt a sense of belonging with other persons with spinal cord injury who were facing the same stigma. And I mean, I tried to join college, and they basically said, "Why the hell do people like you even bother to study?" And that shocked me out of it and brought the warrior out of me. So when I started fighting for others, then I found my greater purpose. And in that, I think these three things are what gives us inner strength when we have no other choice but to fight. And when we stop fighting for ourselves and start fighting to make the lives of others even better. So for me, these were the basics, roots, the spiritual kind of roots, the love of family, sports and arts and music, and restoring our sense of self-worth, and then fighting for uh, our our larger family, which is the entire community of persons with spinal cord injury.
Yeah, so your story, Preeti ji, was more with means various things you mentioned contributed to your being able to harness your inner strength. Of course, spiritualism, even research has shown that helps you get back your self-confidence, and you acceptance comes in very easily. And art, sports, and love of family you mentioned helped you also come through. Komalji, you wanted to make some comment. You had raised your hand.
No, I just said that I resonated with what Preeti said, because during my peer counseling sessions, I had seen repeatedly people who already before the injury had submitted to God over, like more like God is everything. God has given this, God will take us out. They accept much better than those who don't. I have seen this during peer counseling. Yes.
Yeah, that is true. There have been studies which also show, say, like belief in the doctrine of karma, that whatever has happened is due to directly or indirectly due to your actions in the previous birth, and you have to accept them and you have to move forward. There are studies also which show strong positive influence of religion and spiritualism in trying to harness your inner strength. Uh, now, did we miss out on anyone? No, I think we covered everyone. So on this question, the last question, moving on to the next question, how did all of you transform challenges into opportunities, right? You all have been achievers. You are now role models. Obviously, you seized on the opportunity, and how did you discover the hidden talents or developing new skills post-injury? How limitations sparked innovation in careers, hobbies, or advocacy? And uh, how, I mean, did you celebrate milestones as motivation for further growth? So, what was it which helped you transform challenges into opportunities? Let's start with Rajdeep.
Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Everyone?
Very much audible.
So, I mean, to be honest, I think the biggest thing is that that there are only two ways that I look forward. Is it something that I can sit and continue to do nothing, or take ownership? And because the fact that we have to grow anyway, so I think human beings are anyway a very adaptive species. तो सबसे पहले मेरे को ये था कि सर because and I feel that um spinal cord after spinal cord जिसका भी होता है injury होता है, so there are two lives, one before the injury and one life after the injury, and two lives are very different. For me, I have built a career around something, visualizing something मुझे ये बनना है, and I've studied my entire life and a career बनाया उसी हिसाब से. And suddenly this happened and everything just, it's ground one, like what next? So I think recently, I know anyways you are aware that I started a rehab center for people with disability, where best practices are followed, and you and Sarang were guiding me in that. At the same time, yeah. So I think, sir, um, it's just that we people with spinal cord injuries, we don't have an option. It's just to have to look forward and find ways. And what I realized, I become more stronger uh, mentally and physically than the person I was before. So, sir,
So, can we say that your limitation that helped you spark innovation, like you wouldn't have ever thought about starting a rehabilitation unit there, and but probably then as you move forward also you every milestone that you achieve, that becomes a motivation for you to move further in this regard, right?
yes, sir. Um, yes, sir. That's true, sir. I mean, um, the fact that I've lost a lot of things, but then I also gained something more better, maybe sweeter. Um, so I think there is a balance somewhere that uh, because of this, as a human being, I grew, and then my limitations, I grew differently now. Yes, sir. So I do agree on that.
Right. Thank you. Dr. Amita Sani, what was it which helped you discover the hidden talents or spark, or means you are pursuing your same career, right?
That's what I'm pursuing my same career. So I actually thought, matlab, there is not much change. I was, for me, it was relatively simpler. I was in a government job, financially secure. I moved with injury, without injury, back to a profession. Only thing is, how do I handle that profession? So I, take a call. I mean, my rehab team helped me rehabilitate in the new place. So that made things easier. And as I, you know, uh, grew in whatever I was doing, I realized the challenges faced by other people on wheelchairs and trolleys. And probably that is the thing I never thought that I would work on, making accessibility an issue and, easier for people in our own hospital. I never realized. I was a doctor. I never found that, this door is small, this toilet door is, even though it is big, it opens inside. So how does the patient move in and close? So small things like that. I mean, I never. So one does move and start thinking for the others, for the other patients to come. So that has sensitized that. And of course, when you can't move, you have to move your upper body to work for the lower body. So that's a skill I never went to the gym. I now make an attempt to work on the upper body.
So, yeah, please go ahead. Please go ahead.
So all I think is profession-wise, I've maybe made a little slight shift from actively hands-on a little bit, which was anyway, as you grow senior in the government, you do less and less, you do more administration than hands-on. So move to more teaching and more, what do I call it, more, you look at the patient's side much more than I would otherwise.
So could we say that this challenge posed by this limitation helped you try to get into means harness within you the hobbies of advocacy, fighting for
Yes.
accessibility, etc. And
Yes.
if it were not for this life-changing event, probably this would have never dawned upon you. And
Not at all.
you may not have thought about advocacy as much as you do so right now.
No,
Right?
absolutely. I would walk down home and I would see, okay, 5 in the evening, if you went home late, you would see 6, 7 people on a wheelchair talking to each other. They were just people talking on a wheelchair, But now it's not the same. I react differently. How else can we, make it easier, and somebody comes to OPDs, how would it be difficult? I can now understand that much, much better in fact, and I'm willing to fight for that. So, and it has sensitized all the other people around me, my friends, my peers, my colleagues, my seniors, everybody. So I think that has been.
माधवी जी, आप बताएंगे कि कैसे ये जो चुनौती इतनी बड़ी आपके सामने आई, उसको आपने कैसे अपॉर्चुनिटी में कन्वर्ट किया? मतलब क्या था जिसके कारण आप अपने अंदर जो ये हिडन टैलेंट्स थे, मतलब कुछ तो आप पहले से कर रहे थे जैसे पेंटिंग, बट शायद स्पोर्ट्स में इतने एक्टिवली पहले नहीं आप अपना योगदान देते थे, और जो एडवोकेसी में लोगों के लिए जैसे आप इतना काम कर रहे हैं, पहले शायद इतना नहीं सोचते थे। तो क्या ये चुनौती थी जिसने आप में ये अपॉर्चुनिटी दिखाई और आप उसको आगे लेके आ पाए? माधवी जी।
जी सर, फैमिली की सपोर्ट की वजह से मुझे अपने करियर को लेकर तो उतना स्ट्रगल नहीं करना पड़ा, क्योंकि बहुत सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज थी मेरे पास काम करने के लिए। मेरे ब्रदर का कहना था कि बिजनेस अगर आप एक सर्टन लेवल से आपकी हेल्प से कुछ और बेटर हो भी जाएगा, तो मुझे लगता है कि आपको उतनी इनर सेटिस्फेक्शन नहीं मिलेगी जितना आप दूसरों के लिए, अगर अपने जैसे लोगों के लिए बाहर निकल कर अगर काम करोगे, तो आपको जो आपकी उसकी वजह से पहचान बनेगी, उसके उसकी वजह से जो आप में एक कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा, उससे आपको एक जो सेटिस्फेक्शन मिलेगी, वो आपको अपने बिजनेस से नहीं मिलेगी। आप इसको करिए, कंटिन्यू करिए, क्योंकि मेरे लिए वो एक चैलेंज था कि जब मेरे ब्रदर ने 1997 में बिजनेस स्टार्ट किया, तो 2002 में मेरा रोड एक्सीडेंट हुआ, तो उनको 5 इयर्स हुए थे फरीदाबाद में बिजनेस स्टार्ट किए। तो उस बिजनेस का मुझे बिल्कुल नॉलेज नहीं थी, तो उनको ये था कि इसके लिए मैं आपको धीरे धीरे ट्रेंड करूंगा, वो उसको आपको उतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं आएगी, पर मुझे लगता है कि आपकी एक अलग पहचान बाहर निकलकर एक अपनी खुद की वो होनी चाहिए, जो आपको यहाँ इतना प्रोटेक्शन में आप सीख नहीं पाओगे, लर्न नहीं कर पाओगे। आप यहाँ आपका यहाँ कुछ बाउंडेशन नहीं है कि टाइम को लेकर कि आपको ऑफिस आकर इतने बजे रिपोर्ट करना है, इतने बजे यहाँ पे कुछ किसी को कोई प्रॉब्लम फेस नहीं करनी। बाहर निकलकर बहुत कुछ लर्न करोगे, इंडिपेंडेंट हो और सोसाइटी में काम करो, ताकि जब आप चैलेंजेस को फेस करोगे खुद से, तो आपको लगेगा कि हाँ, मैंने लाइफ में ये खुद अचीव किया है। तो धीरे धीरे मैंने एक एम बना लिया कि मुझे फरीदाबाद को छोटे छोटे एरियाज और आसपास के एरियाज को जाके कवर करना है, और खुद जाकर लोगों से मिलना है और उनकी प्रॉब्लम्स को पता करके उसको सॉल्यूशन ढूंढने की कोशिश करनी है। तो मैं खुद से जाती थी, और तब फील होता था कि ग्राउंड लेवल पे लोगों को जब कोई सपोर्ट करने वाला नहीं होता तो वो क्या फील करते हैं। तो मैं उनके साथ उन्हीं के बीच में बैठकर चीजों को शायद ज्यादा लर्न कर पाई, जो मैं सिर्फ अपने फैमिली और उसकी प्रोटेक्शन में नहीं कर पाती। तो मुझे लगता था कि वो मेरे ब्रदर का एक हार्ड डिसीजन था कि आप खुद से चीजों को जाके करो, तो वो मेरे मुझे लगता है कि मेरे को बहुत कुछ लर्न करने को मिला उससे।
बहुत बढ़िया। तो मतलब आपके हिसाब से कि आप जो बिजनेस से हट के आपने जो ये नई अपने एडवोकेसी इनिशिएटिव लॉन्च किया, जिसमें लोगों को मदद करने के लिए, तो उससे आपने मतलब जो चुनौती थी उसको अपॉर्चुनिटी में कन्वर्ट करके आप एक नॉर्मल लाइफस्टाइल में आने में भी मदद मिला, और शायद ये देख
बिल्कुल।
कि ग्राउंड रियलिटी क्या है, आम लोगों को कितनी
हाँ।
स्ट्रगल करनी पड़ती है, शायद जितनी आपको सपोर्ट मिली परिवार से या वैसे फाइनेंशियल सपोर्ट थी, उतनी लोगों को अक्सर नहीं मिलती है। तो उससे भी थोड़ा
हम्म।
थोड़ा तो ढाढ़स बढ़ता होगा कि हाँ ठीक है, मैं
बिल्कुल।
ये चोट तो लगी बट
वो
मैं कहीं
वो सब
बेहतर हूँ
वो
बाकी।
सब देखकर मुझे ये फील होता था कि अ, जब मैं ग्राउंड लेवल पे जाके काम करना मैंने शुरू किया, तो मुझे लगता था कि मैं मेरी बहुत पहले शुरू शुरू की स्टेज में मतलब गॉड से एक कंप्लेंट थी कि मेरे साथ ये ऐसा क्यों हुआ। पर मुझे लगता था कि नहीं, मुझे गॉड ने एक मतलब कुछ ऐसा सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ करवाना था, शायद मुझे इस वजह से मुझे इस रास्ते पे चलने के लिए मेरे साथ ये प्रॉब्लम आई। आज मुझे वो प्रॉब्लम प्रॉब्लम नहीं लगती, मुझे एक अपने लिए लगता है कि मुझे सोसाइटी के लिए भगवान ने चुना, ऐसे लोगों के लिए काम करने के लिए जो शायद मैं नॉर्मल लाइफ होती तो मैं ये करने का कभी सोचती भी नहीं। तो मुझे बाहर निकलकर ऐसे लोगों से मिलकर ग्राउंड लेवल पे काम करके मुझे एक बहुत सेटिस्फेक्शन होती है, और मैं फील करती हूँ कि शायद यही एक रीजन था जो मैं सोसाइटी में के लिए काम करूं, उनके बीच में रहकर उनके लिए कुछ कर पाऊं। शायद इसी वजह से मुझे ये प्रॉब्लम आई, जो इसको आज प्रॉब्लम नहीं कहना चाहिए, वो मुझे एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली अपने जैसे लोगों के लिए काम करने के लिए। तो मैं आज अपने आप को बहुत एक प्राउड व्हील चेयर यूजर फील करती हूँ कि मुझे आज आज कोई फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता कि मुझे 23 इयर्स हो गए हैं व्हील चेयर पे, क्योंकि ये तो बहुत छोटी छोटी प्रॉब्लम्स है। अगर ग्राउंड लेवल पे जाकर देखो तो लोग इतना कुछ फेस कर रहे हैं कि जिसको मैनेज करना अपने आप में ही बहुत डिफिकल्ट है।
बहुत बढ़िया। तो मतलब ये शायद एक तरह से स्पिरिचुअलिज्म या रिलीजन के कारण ही आप इसको जब एक्सेप्ट कर पाए कि भगवान ने मेरे को एक अपॉर्चुनिटी दी है कि मैं औरों के लिए काम कर सकूं, तो वो आपको उसने मदद भी की आपको आपके चैलेंज को एक्सेप्ट करने में। धन्यवाद।
हाँ जी।
धन्यवाद माधवी जी। प्रीति, you have something to add?
Yes, I totally resonate with Madhvi ji. But one part I do resonate that we need to feel that we are chosen for something bigger than ourselves. If it's just about I, me, and myself, there are still hundreds of people with their hands and legs, everything functions, but they don't even move a little finger for somebody else. But we are able to now lead lives that have greater purpose, that are serving a community and positively impacting thousands of lives. I think that itself is a worthwhile lifetime. More than just putting money in your own bank, I think this is a much more meaningful life. On the other hand, in as far as transforming my challenges, I don't think I did a very good job. I mean, at 18, my accident happened. I didn't have the maturity at that time to say, okay, this is your life, go on with it. I was just totally shattered. When people saw me, I would get panic attacks, and I just wanted to lock down and just forget that the world exists. But I couldn't do that. I was really shaken because my father, suddenly at the age of 57, he suffered a heart attack and passed away overnight. 4 days after that, my mother had a heart attack, and I had an 80-year-old grandmother to take care of, and literally no other choice. Like Komalji was saying, she had 5 kids that she had to take care of, no other choice. So when you are faced with that you have to live and you have to survive and you have to make life better for the people who love you, then you have to better pull up your socks and do something about it, right? Then somebody was kind to me. They gave me a speech activated software because my level of injury is very high. I'm literally paralyzed below the neck, and I'm not able to move my hands and fingers and do any of the things that people take for granted. So uh, I found the speech activated software gave me that level of independence that I could use the computer completely independently. Then I tried to join college, and uh, you know as I was saying, they said, why did you even come? But then I kept fighting. That is when I guess I'm that kind of person where if you push me into a corner, I fight back. That's my nature, and I fought back, and today I have become the first female quadriplegic in the history of India to ever complete a PhD from any of the IITs. So it is possible. It's not easy, but it gets possible. And when you see others who don't even have the kind of resources and the skill sets that you have been given, then you want to fight for them. And that is what I've started doing. And I know there's a long way to go, but I've made a start, and that keeps me going now.
Preeti, you said that you didn't take the challenge as well at your age when you got the injury when you were 18. But how do you benchmark that, right? How do you know that others may not have been worse off in accepting this challenge? And at your age, right? How many people get that reflection in life that you need to do something for the others? Normally, it's at a much later stage of life that one starts working in this field. So I think everybody would resonate with me that what you've been able to achieve at this age, very few people can. And it happened unfortunately at a younger age, but you made it into a fortunate event in that what you are doing now, very few people can hope to achieve, right? I think everybody would agree with me on that. So you have done a PhD, you have a big NGO, you are working for it, you are moving forward, you are helping thousands of lives. I think that's a great achievement. Komalji, did you have anything else to add?
No, not really. I mean, all has been said, and I'm quite happy. Um, Whether you get on to the same job, changing the profession a bit, or you get on to to another job, there will be changes, obviously, small or big. Levels of injury, well, they do matter, but the power of the mind is there for all of us. So that's whether it is cervical or I know it's better that your hand functions are there, but then there are people who have hand functions but don't have family support. You have one thing, you don't have another. So sooner or later you get by. What is more important is that you get on in life and then you cross over to do things the same for other people. That is amazing. I mean, like both Amita said the same thing, Rajdeep said the same thing, you said the same thing, Madhvi, of course, said the same thing. This is remarkable. I mean, not to just lead your own life, but also make others lead their life better.
And perhaps the people who have contributed the most to the society, right? If you see the most successful scientist in the world, Stephen Hawking, right? What he's been able to achieve just with his ability to move the head a bit, with taking hours to type one page, his book being the bestseller in the world, revolutionized the theory of physics through black hole theory and other such things. I think uh, if you don't take this physical limitation as a challenge but turn it into an opportunity, you can go miles. So moving forward, yeah. So moving forward, we have talked about this, but quick again. Quickly, we'll go through this. Madhvi ji talked about the role of support systems. Preeti ji also talked about it. Um, what do you think was the biggest support system for you? Was it the family, the friend, the peers, the community, role models, mentors? Or building networks of encouragement and positivity? What was the biggest support system for you? Let's start with Rajdeep, you?
Sure. I think for me, it's my family, my parents. They have always stood by me, my sister. The fact that your family is the first line of people who get affected the most. I think when you have an injury, I think the family, the parents, the siblings, their pain is much more than ours. I feel the fact that they become helpless about not being able to uh, you know uh, contribute or do something. So I think yeah. So I think then the friends and comes on and then um And then yes, I think the network support wherever you get it, I think it plays a big role. I think Chabra sir, Sanu ma'am, and everyone I have met, I'm still in touch, and the counseling groups and the woman ma'am and Amita ji and everyone here. I think everyone's story inspires woman ma'am. So yes, I think the biggest support. I think it's the first line of people, the family, the siblings, and then and you meet people having difficulties more or less than you, and then you feel a sense of gratitude, and then that's how it is. I think now I can say that I have more people. I have more closer friends within spinal cord injury than or people with disabilities and my older friends who were like able bodied. So yes, I think the peer groups it does help. Yeah.
Great. I recall how Lisa, she would be by your side, even being in the crucial stage of her career, and how she ensured that things moved on for you and had to shuttle from one place to the other. माधवी जी, आप भी अपने भाई के बारे हमेशा बताते हैं, उनका कितना बड़ा योगदान रहा है आपको वापस अपने पैरों पे खड़ा करने के लिए, और एक जो आप इतनी अच्छी एनजीओ चला रहे हैं उसके लिए, और पॉजिटिविटी लाने में। तो इसके अलावा क्या सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स है आपके लिए? आप म्यूटेड हैं माधु जी, थोड़ा अनम्यूट कर लीजिए। नहीं, अनम्यूट नहीं हूँ। कोई इशू आ रहा है शायद, एक मिनट। हाँ, आप अनम्यूट कीजिए। हाँ जी, बोलिए। आवाज नहीं आ रही, अनम्यूट तो हुए। आप चेक कर लें, तब तक हम कोमल से पूछ लेते हैं। आप चेक कर ले कहाँ ये टेक्निकल इशू आ रहा है। कोमल,
Yeah.
for you, what were the biggest support systems?
My husband was the big support, but we lost him in 3 years after the accident and another one. The rest of the journey was made a bit easier because I owed it to him that I just have to go on. He's just sowed the seeds, but I just have to get it forwards. I never knew I'd come this far without him from 97 to now. But thankfully, those 3 years gave me that वो बीज कहते हैं ना कि तुम कर सकते हो. So that has always been there. And so whatever I do now, I turn around and I say thank you to him first. The second big support was my colleagues. There was a solid support because they helped me unconditionally for a graded entry back to work. I mean, itni class le lo, if you can't take, we are there. Unconditionally. If I'm doing a practical and they just assess that I'm having problem, they'll just walk in and help. So that was something which was amazing. And I think not many people get it. A few months after the injury, I met Major Aluwalia and M. Ashul Cheher in a small hutment at the gate of the yet to come up ISIC, the Indian Spinal Injury Center. Their advice set the road ahead and the goal for my life. 1 year later, I met Shivjit and Shivani, who were helping out build a conference in a then nascent ISIC. Well, then I said, oh, if they can do it, I can. Meeting Dr. Chabra added fuel to this crossover war, and then there was no looking back.
Great, great. I mean, Dr. Amita, your support systems?
My support systems, I think, are very similar to Dr. Koval's family. Again, all sides, both sides, at every level, whether it's my husband was on leave for 3 months, he decided he's going to, so also my, our sisters and brothers who took leave to, just be there unconditionally. I mean, only one was, and friends, of course, again, like colleagues, I had friends when I went back to work who again said, you need not do, and supported me right through. But this is in the initial months that, they play a very, very important role till you are ready to kind of move out on your own. And then, of course, peer and community. And now, like, role models, I think, come in much later, when we were, I mean, when I was out of everything and then read books and read about people, that's when they motivated. And mentors, of course, I mean, your peer mentors are there, I still look up to my mentors to guide me. And like today, this whole network of people who are there who are support, and I would support somebody would support me. So I think that's how it is.
Thank you, Dr. Amita Sani. Preeti ji?
Yeah. For me, like I said, my parents have been my everything. For the last 25 years, my mother has not been able to sleep for 8 hours continuously because in the night she has to change my position so that I don't end up with bed sore. They actually quietly sacrifice their entire lives so that I may live with dignity. So, I mean, I will never be able to pay anything back to them. But after that, now when Soul Free has come, lot of people have believed in me. Lot of people have taken that extra step to support me. We have advisory board members, we have managing committee, I mean, people like you, Dr. Chabra, I mean, you brought me to Delhi. I'm, I mean, it's not easy for me to travel. So much exposure, so much belief people have given me again and again. I need that reassurance. Whenever I need that reassurance that, hey, you are doing something right and we believe in you. That people like you and so many role models have given me. And I really believe in that. You are all my support system now.
Preeti ji, I think when you said you would never be able to pay back to your parents, I think your parents do everything for you without any expectation, and I think it would be the biggest satisfaction for them to see you be back to a normal lifestyle, doing so much, achieving so much in life, and helping people so much. And so I think the same, your being able to help so many people is a great, would be a great satisfaction to your mother, at least now. Thanks for all your contribution to the society. Madhvi ji, शायद अब टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम्स ओवरकम हो चुकी होंगी. आप बताना चाहेंगे आपका आप अपने सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स के बारे, आपके ब्रदर और फैमिली के साथ साथ क्या सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स थे आपके? I think Madhvi ji has just joined back. Madhvi ji? Some technical issues with Madhvi ji. Madhvi ji, आपको सुनाई दे रहा है? Maybe we'll get back to Madhvi ji as she's able to overcome the technical glitches. We'll meanwhile carry on.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, बिल्कुल Madhvi ji. Very much audible now.
सर नेटवर्क का बहुत प्रॉब्लम था तो डिस्कनेक्ट
No
हो गई.
issues ji, no issues.
सर मैंने कुछ पेंटिंग्स डॉक्टर शानू मैम को शेयर की हैं. आप
मैं अभी शेयर करने की कोशिश करूंगा वो. हाँ जी, बिल्कुल, अभी देखता हूँ, मैं दिखाता हूँ सबको। आप तब तक बात करिए। मे बी
मुझे आने के बाद काफी बड़ा बड़ा बेड सोर हो गया। तो बेड सोर की मेरी 2-3 मेजर सर्जरीज हुई हैं ये 23 इयर्स में। तो उसमें मुझे हर बार
we
सर,
are.
am I
Mhm. So you are all able to see the paintings of Madhvi Hans ji? शानू दिख रहा है?
जी सर, दिख रहा है, दिख रहा है सर।
So these
अमेजिंग
are
पेंटिंग।
wonderful paintings which Madhvi Hans ji has made, and this I think she wanted to also uh, let us know that this has been also her passion, has been a very big support system for her. नहीं माधवी जी? Think.
हेलो?
हाँ जी माधवी जी बताइए।
हेलो?
हेलो। So maybe we.
सर, am I audible?
हाँ जी बिल्कुल माधवी जी। So we move forward as Madhvi ji is able to get over her technical glitches with the audio. So, Preeti, how did you inspire others creating the ripple effect? How your success story has impacted communities and society? I know you are modest and would say, would try to downplay everything in this regard, but it has. We know that many people look upon you as a role model, instilling hope in others with disabilities, and how it has helped breaking stereotypes around disability through achievements. Would you want to say something about this?
Yes, I do feel that there is definite stigma, and for women with spinal cord injury, the stigma is even more, especially in rural areas from underprivileged backgrounds. So I feel a lot of pride and I take a lot of responsibility in being the face and voice of this invisible segment of society. Um, and if somehow my words and my story are able to inspire them, I feel I'm serving my highest purpose on this planet. So it is very fulfilling for me if I'm able to do that. But in our rehab center, that's what I tell them, that I am the one with the highest level of injury, and if I can support 3,000 families, then they can support their own families. I keep telling them that even as women, they should not be subservient and dependent and agree that they can't do a job or they can't have a salary. It's okay. I feel, I tell them very strongly that they should be independent, they should have money in their pocket, they should be able to do whatever they want to do for themselves. So as much as possible, I try to instill my sense of self-confidence and self-worth in them. And sometimes even with the men, I'm kind of harsh, and I tell them that if as a one woman I can do all this, then as a man they can at least take care of their own families. I tell them that their wives should not be working so much, that they should come over and transcend their physical limitations and get proper rehab, so that many of them are just comfortable in staying in bed and doing nothing. So we have to push them, and we push them saying that, look how your wife and children are suffering. You have to do something. You have to come to a situation where you're able to take care of them. And I try my best, but it's always a work in progress.
Aman, this is Zoom meeting. So why is it that I cannot see the person who is speaking? And why?
Yeah, yeah, go on, Preeti.
No, that's it. That's what I wanted to say. And in a way, my PhD has also given a great, I feel it is a barrier breaking thing. And I feel that if more and more people like me can come through those doors, like get into IIT and those kind of organizations, now that I have come through, then it gives them the confidence that they can too. Then I will feel my life is well served.
Very true, Preeti ji. I feel that it's not only persons with disabilities whom you are able to instill hope in and become a role model for, because you're having achieved so much despite the limitations, shows that anyone, if they have the willpower, should be able to do so. So definitely your success story impacts a lot of people across the globe. Dr. Amita Sani, would you want to share your views in this regard?
So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I think it's a very ordinary for me, like I already had a job, I had an engineer, and I went back to the same thing. So I don't think I really impacted anyone. The only thing I think would have happened is, okay, people are sensitized because of my, in the job, around me, family, friends, road, everywhere. And now I make it a point to go out as much as I can to both, to, where accessibility becomes an issue, whichever way. And also to, it sensitizes people also in some, and I don't know how to describe what I'm saying, but could you understand what I'm saying? I don't think it's I've inspired anybody, but sensitized, yes.
Fine.
That's how I look at it.
That is a modest way of putting it. You feel you've been able to sensitize people, but there'll be a large number of people who would have been motivated by what you've been able to achieve. And of course, as you, within your workplace also, you've been able to work for accessibility right now. So as things move on, you have a dream in fighting for accessibility across the country, and that will come through. Komal?
Actually, what happened was soon after the accident, I decided to remain in the mainstream, keep teaching zoology, doing my research in microbiology. But I also decided that I'll add a social element to my life so that I can give back to society what it has given me. So some of these are the peer counseling, setting up of the equal opportunity cell in the university, and later the Spinal Foundation initiative. And these have um, given me more than what it must have given to people. And I would have learned more than others, and the learning continues. A moment not to be forgotten in my life was the National Award in 2004, given by none other than Dr. Abdul Kalam. I didn't bother much about the award, but being with the Dr. Abdul Kalam was the big moment for me. So in a way, I resonate with what Amita said. You just go out and do nothing. Even then, people around you get that positive vibe. If she's, many times I would move into the hall, rehab hall, and just read a paper by myself. I mean, it gives a normal feel to the others without you even opening your mouth. So that is something which Amita says, I only sensitize. That's a very huge thing. Remaining in the four walls of your room was not acceptable to me. In fact, when I wanted to get back, there was a dean colleges who, said, why does Komal want to get back to the job? She can earn 10 times more sitting at home taking tuitions. I said, who is he to decide what I want to do? And thankfully, I made that decision. It was tougher, but it was much, much better for me. I could touch people. And I think through Spinal Foundation, the network is some 25,000 at least. I mean, it's amazing that, on a daily basis, you are in these peer mentor groups. And talking to people or just sort of listening to people. That is where the giving back happened. I never thought I would be doing this, but it just happened that way. I still continue my research, I still continue to teach, but I still continue to do this as well.
Thanks. Both of you touched on a very important point that you, irrespective of whether you directly mean it or not, you are able to sensitize people wherever you go. And I think that is also the need of the hour, right? We published an article on neglected traumatic spinal cord injuries. We did a study, right? So we defined neglected spinal injuries as spinal injuries in which comprehensive management is not started within a defined time frame, say within 30 days. So this is so very important to achieve good outcomes. And you'll be very surprised to know the main cause of neglect was not financial, was not availability of services, was lack of awareness. Lack of awareness amongst people, right? Also within our society, the lack of awareness that people with disabilities can not only get back to a normal lifestyle, they can achieve much more beyond that, right? So that general tendency towards people to take pity rather than empower these people. So there's a lot of need for sensitization in the society, and what you are able to achieve by demonstrating that you are able to not only get back to a normal lifestyle, but going far beyond is sensitizing the community in this regard. Rajdeep, I know you would be modest and you would also have the same feelings as the other, but I put it in a different way. How could you create a ripple effect amongst others, right? I'm talking about notional. How could you break stereotypes around disability? How could you impact communities and societies? And how could you instill hope in others with disabilities?
Um, so like you said right now about the fact that lack of awareness for people with spinal cord injuries. I think right now in India as a whole, I think the lack of awareness of any disability is the biggest challenge right now in the society. And I think the fact that spinal cord injury people stands out differently is because they have experienced both the sides of the coin, right? Being abled and being disabled. So that makes them so much sensitive to the rights of an individual. And as a when I was normal, when I got the injury, I was already a postgraduate. I already had a job. When I look back and see people who are born with a disability, they don't even have the facility to even go to school right now. So I think that's awareness is something that we need to create, and the fact that what I feel right now in the society, I have been to many NGOs, and then I mean, uh, and then and also been speaking to a lot of para athletes and all those. And when I see the lobby and the kind of the market that's around been made with money that is provided by the government by a lot of government bodies, it's disheartening and sad. So I think, like you said, Chavra sir, it's that lack of awareness is biggest challenge. A lot of people even don't even know that what rights do they have, what privileges do they get, what facilities do um, they should stand out for. Amazingly, when I went for getting my disability certificate, I went to a Ministry of Health, Guwahati. They had stairs, and that was the first shocker for me. This is the Ministry of Health, and they have stairs, they don't have ramps. So yes, we have to create awareness so that not just for us, for people. I think who are born disabled, people, children with autism, and children with cerebral palsy and all that. So yeah, Totally. So I'm not sure if I can answer to your question about inspiring others. Maybe down the line when you organize the same kind of meeting, 2 3 years later, I'll have something to say. But I think I owe it to myself that before I, build my life, at least I would love to create awareness and stand for the people who are disabled, because they they just live with so much injustice and so much um, cruel environments in this so-called uh, able-bodied earth, so to say.
Thanks, Rajdeep. You again touched on the need for creating awareness and sensitizing
Yes.
all stakeholders, right? It's not only the community, it's the policy makers, it's the healthcare providers, it's the professionals, it's the media. And you'll be surprised, right? There was more than a 30% incidence of neglect in all cases which were admitted in our tertiary level center. You can imagine what would be the plight in remote areas or in other centers which are not tertiary level centers. And all of you know how people who suffer spinal injuries, they uh, get sent back home after the surgery without any comprehensive rehabilitation. And it was talked upon that comprehensive rehabilitation is so very essential to be able to get your confidence back and get back to a normal lifestyle. माधवी हंस जी, आप सॉरी बीच में कुछ टेक्निकल इश्यूज के कारण
वेरी
आप
सॉरी सर।
पिछला सवाल और इस सवाल का जवाब दोनों अगर अभी दें तो पिछला सवाल आपके ब्रदर और फैमिली के अलावा क्या सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स थे, और दूसरा सवाल कि आपको क्या लगता है कि आप लोग सब मिलके कैसे प्रोत्साहित कर सकते हैं, ना खाली और लोग जिन्हें स्पाइनल इंजरीज हो, डिसेबिलिटी हो, पर समाज इन जनरल को, ताकि वो अपने जो छोटी छोटी चुनौतियां हैं उसमें उनसे उभर के उनको एक अपॉर्चुनिटी की तरह देखें और जीवन में सफल रहें।
सर मैं स्कूल टाइम से बहुत ज्यादा मेरी मेरा एक पैशन था उसको पेंटिंग्स को लेकर, पर मुझे लगता था जब मुझे इंजरी हुई कि मैं खड़े होके स्टैंडिंग उसमें मैं पेंटिंग्स नहीं कर पाऊंगी। तो मैं 6 फीट 5 फीट 7 फीट तक पेंटिंग्स बनाती थी उस टाइम पर। तो मुझे एक चैलेंज लगता था कि जब अब मुझे इंजरी हो गई तो मैं इन पेंटिंग्स को, जो मेरा एक पैशन था, उसको कैसे कंप्लीट किया करूंगी। तो जब मेरा बेड सोर की सर्जरी 2015 में हुई तो मुझे लगा, मैं काफी देर सोचती रहती थी, मुझे 3 मंथ्स के लिए उल्टा लिटाया उसमें सर्जरी के बाद। तो मुझे लगा कि 3 मंथ्स का मैं टाइम कैसे पास करूंगी और पॉजिटिवली कैसे अपना निकालूंगी। तो मुझे एक आइडिया आया कि मैंने अपने ब्रदर को बोला कि मुझे एक ना फोल्डिंग बेड पे मुझे शिफ्ट करा दीजिए, और मैक्सिमम कैनवस फोल्डिंग बेड के अंदर करके और छोटा सा स्टूल से मैंने एक पेंटिंग का पार्ट स्टार्ट किया, और करते करते थोड़ा थोड़ा कवर करते करते मैंने वो पेंटिंग ऊपर करती गई, और मैंने 6 फीट की पेंटिंग को उस सिचुएशन में भी कंप्लीट किया। तो मुझे लगता है कि जब हम नॉर्मल कंडीशन में होते हैं, हमें वायरल हो जाता है, छोटी सी प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है, तो हमें लगता है कि जब हम ठीक हो जाएंगे तब हम ये करेंगे। हम ज्यादातर यही सोचते हैं कि वायरल है, बहुत मेडिसिन खानी पड़ रही हैं, बहुत स्ट्रगल है, हम 5 7 डेज में जब नॉर्मल लाइफ में आएंगे उसके बाद चलो हम ये करेंगे। तो जब स्पाइनल कॉर्ड इंजरी के लिए तो यही एक नॉर्मल लाइफ है कि उसको सब कुछ एक्सेप्ट करना है, और इसी में ही अपॉर्चुनिटीज ढूंढनी है, और इसी में ही अपने ड्रीम्स को वैसे ही पूरा करना है कि जैसे बाकी सब लोग करते हैं। तो अगर अगर देखा जाए तो बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस होते हैं जो नॉर्मल ह्यूमन बीइंग को आइडिया ही नहीं है कि हम कितना स्ट्रगल करके एक नॉर्मल डे को, और बहुत हैप्पीली हम रात को सोचते हैं कि ये दिन बहुत अच्छे से हो गया, नेक्स्ट डे हमें कैसे प्लान करना है और कैसे पूरे
पूरी पॉजिटिविटी के साथ नेक्स्ट डे को प्लान करके और अच्छे से निकालना है। तो अपने लिए नहीं, दूसरों के लिए हमें कैसे जीना है। सिर्फ अपने लिए जीना तो सभी लोग करते हैं, वो कोई बहुत बड़ी बात नहीं है। तो मुझे लगता है कि बहुत कुछ है लाइफ में करने के लिए, और हमें लोगों को बाहर निकालना, सोसाइटी में इनको नेगेटिविटी से पॉजिटिविटी में लाना हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज तो है ही। और हमारी हमारी एक ड्यूटी बनती है कि हम अपने आसपास के लोगों को पॉजिटिव करें, और जितना सपोर्ट कर सकते हैं हम करें।
थैंक यू माधवी जी। ये आप जैसे बता रहे थे, आपसे पहले प्रीति जी भी शायद बता रही थी कि जैसे उनको चोट है। अब बहुत कम लोग समझ सकते हैं
हम्म।
कि क्या चैलेंजेस, क्या चुनौतियां होती हैं एक साधारण
हम्म।
जिंदगी में वापस आने के लिए। जैसे कि एक फॉर ग्रांटेड ले लेते हैं कि हाँ, खाना तो खा ही सकेंगे, लिख तो सकेंगे, कपड़े तो बदल सकेंगे, इधर उधर जा सकेंगे, चल सकेंगे। बट जब ये चुनौतियां फेस करते हैं इंसान, और ये छोटी छोटी चीजें भी अचीव करने में एक वो जब सक्षम होते हैं, तो वो भी उनके लिए एक बहुत बड़ी अचीवमेंट्स होती हैं। तो ये आम लोगों को समझना काफी मुश्किल है। और आपने बताया कि अगर आप लोगों के उदाहरण से वो सीख सकें कि कैसे जिंदगी में चुनौतियों को स्वीकार करके उनको अपॉर्चुनिटीज में कन्वर्ट करके जिंदगी में आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। धन्यवाद, बहुत धन्यवाद। सपोर्ट सिस्टम्स में आपने बताया कि कैसे एक पेंटिंग को भी आपने अपने परिवार के साथ, पेंटिंग से आपने कैसे उसको अपना सपोर्ट सिस्टम बनाया, और कुछ कैसे अपने अंदर पैशन जगा के आपने शायद अपने जीवन को सकारात्मक बनाते हुए देख के पॉजिटिविटी ला सके। बहुत बढ़िया, धन्यवाद। So,
थैंक यू
quickly now, we'll ask each panelist to give your message to the community on tapping the power of the mind, right? How everyday challenges that everyone faces, how they can overcome them by tapping the power of the mind. What would be the practical takeaways be for the general public? How could they stay positive in adversity? Focusing on what can be controlled, not what can't. Cultivating gratitude and resilience, and setting realistic goals and celebrating small wins. So, what is your message? We'll start with you, Komalji.
Yeah. For the persons with spinal cord injury, I have a message. Join a peer group. There can be no better support than that. That is something which I really want to reach out to people with spinal cord injury. My message to the world, and there are two messages. The first message, give us level ground. We are no less. We are better than the biggest, the best, because we have crossed over the challenge, the biggest challenge in life. And we have to live with it for life. So that is the first message. And the second message to the masses is do all that you can to prevent a spinal cord injury, because prevention is the only cure.
Great, great messages. And perhaps everybody owes it to you, because you are all role models on what can be achieved in life with the power of the mind. And it's not only level ground, right? I think you all deserve much better than that, should be on a higher pedestal than everyone, because you have all accepted the challenge and you have shown us the way forward. Thank you, Komalji. Now, Dr. Amita San.
What I would like to share with the community is gratitude. To me, I think that worked the most for me, gratitude. Every day, something that has gone good, something that is good, that's there on the positive. Every day, if you think of one thing and one small step for somebody else, every day, that's all. automatically, I think everything takes care of itself. I think like
Right.
so
Great.
it taps the positivity.
Great. Gratitude towards the
To
supernatural
what
powers,
yes,
right?
yes. For
Mm.
what you have, for what you have. I mean, I'm sure every individual has something that I'm sure there are a lot of negatives also, but if we have one positive and we focus on that, because automatically we will
Right. So
and then
you are trying to say what is the main crux of rehabilitation process, main philosophy behind rehabilitation process. Ignore, forget what you don't have,
yes,
focus on
absolutely.
what you have and aim to get
Yes,
the best out of it, and have
yes,
gratitude on him for having given you them, retaining them, right? That's what you want to
absolutely.
put across,
Absolutely.
right? Right. Great.
And share what you can with somebody else because that kind of multiplies it.
Right. Great. Great. Uh, Rajdeep?
So yes, sir. I think thank you for having me today, and I just listening to all of the panelists, and I think it's wonderful that what we the file could achieve. I I don't have a message exactly, but I have I will just leave with a question, and maybe I would also like to answer that question. The sort of curiosity since the day I got paralyzed, and then when I go outside and I see how can we change people's mindset about paralysis or disability as a whole, and I just keep thinking ways how to reach out the masses, where and how people can make people aware. Um, so when I was not injured, I felt that मुझे ये लगता था कि लोग व्हीलचेयर में तो बस कमर दर्द होगा ऐसे या तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम है मे भी ऐसे ही बैठते होंगे फिर घर जाते होंगे फिर व्हीलचेयर से आराम से उठ के नहा फिर आराम से सोते होंगे जस्ट द व्हीलचेयर आई नेवर थॉट so deeply about the community given the fact that I was at least a intellectual being and that was the mindset of me then I can think of what is the mindset of the rest of the people as a whole so, my question was that can we have a school where with the normal kids, all the disability kids can study together, or if I wish I had a friend in school who had a spinal cord injury or maybe a blind, I would have become if I was a contractor, then I would have made roads which are more accessible. Wish I was if I were a doctor, I would have was able to understand and do my research more on this part. Was I with the scientist? So what I'm trying to say is if we can find a solution at the root cause, educate the children, maybe, and then when they grow up, think that's maybe they are more enlightened and they know what's disability is and what are the challenges that every disabled person feels and goes through on daily life. Uh, I'm not sure if that answered the question, but
No.
yeah.
That answers the question, Rajdeep. But if I were to speak for you, right? Your idea of setting up a rehab center was because you felt that, at least in your state, in your region, people do not realize they do not understand what rehabilitation means, right? They identify rehabilitation with just physiotherapy, right? Or a part of it. And you want to create services for a comprehensive rehabilitation in your region. And perhaps your message to people would be that, fine, this is a challenging field to engage in, but if you do so, right, do what is proper. So that the masses can benefit out of it, right? So one should be aware about anything and everything about spinal cord injuries so that the gaps in the knowledge and gaps in what what is available to these people can be filled, right?
Absolutely, sir.
Fine.
I totally agree on that.
Right. Now, Preeti ji, what would your message be to the community, to persons with disability and also the able-bodied?
Um, First of all, to the panelists, I want to say I feel so grateful and blessed to be part of this panel. I mean, if this is a group of people I belong with, then I feel very proud of myself. So, really awesome to be here. Thank you so much, Dr. Chabra, for giving me this opportunity. Um, but regardless of disability or caregiving or uh, just people who are out there on the street, if they realize that life is not about all the things we cannot do, but what we choose to do with what we can do, I think we will have a different kind of world. And each person, if especially the so-called able-bodied people, if they look out there and see that are there wheelchair users in the school their kids go to? Will they be okay if wheelchair users are there in the school? Because a lot of people say, oh, I am very inclusive and all that. But the moment there is a different kind of child in the school, they are immediately saying, no, 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 no. So our insecurities, our fears about people who are different rule us on many levels. History has taught us that over and over again, that we are afraid of those who are different, and therefore we try to hate them and we are violent towards them. That is something that we need to recognize, that it is because of our own fear that we discriminate and not actually something about them. So we are completely all right as we are. And if they are able to accept us that way, I think the world will be a different place. And perhaps because of our so called disability, we are able to be broader and we are able to see people as they are and accept people with their flaws, so called flaws, and whatever, accept people as they are and embrace them. And I think that if we are able to do that, we will live in a very ideal society.
Great. In other words, Preetaji, you want to give the message out for an inclusive society, right? Where persons with disabilities are able to be empowered like any other person and are able to lead a normal lifestyle as well, right?
It's an equitable society, understanding
Equitable.
that
Right.
all of us
Very
are
true.
born disabled, and
Very
all
true.
of us, by the time
Very
we
true.
go, will be disabled.
Very
So
true.
why not accept people as they are and give them what they need? And
Right.
one of the taglines of Soul Free is positively abled.
Right.
I feel that that is it. It is a universal tag label. If we are going to label ourselves, then positively able means everybody has positive abilities and
Right.
everybody has so-called weaknesses or flaws. So why not accept people for what they can do and not what they cannot do?
Right. Very true. Very true. I think Madhvi ji, we have lost her. Or Madhvi ji, are you there?
But she is not able to join
Okay,
because of
okay.
this
We
network.
move forward. Some technical issues which Madhvi ji is facing. So I think the take-home messages for us from this webinar, where we have had such an esteemed panel who have been able to share their experiences with us, are that there are innumerable examples of individuals who, with the power of the mind, staying positive, and using their special abilities, not only overcome the challenge posed by their disability, but also achieve great goals. And I always would, the first such example which would always come to my mind would be that of our mentor and godfather, Major H.P.S. Ahluwalia, who probably would be a role model for people across the globe, whose achievements, I think, we can never dream of even achieving a fraction of that. They are role models and continue to inspire and motivate not only persons with disabilities, but able-bodied as well. They make able-bodied believe that there's an ability within each individual to overcome any challenge. They strengthen the conviction anything can be achieved with the power of the mind. Within the persons with disabilities, they inculcate the belief that life after a spinal cord injury can be happy, meaningful, and worth living. So let your journeys begin. Live life to the fullest Friends, face it, embrace it, and conquer it. You need not be cowed down by the spinal injury. You can convert this challenge into an opportunity and achieve much more than you would have thought about even before. Friends, Injury Prevention Week is commemorated from 1st to 7th September every year under the aegis and support of Directorate General of Health Services, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Throughout this week, we have a calendar of activities. Do keep joining us every day for the various activities which are on store. Tomorrow, we'll bring to you from 3:30 to 5 p.m. the celebrations for Spinal Cord Injury Day from Shri Balaji Action Medical Institute. Do join us. There would be an inclusive dance performance. You will also see a Nukkad Natak, and there'll be much more than that. Spinal Cord Injury Day, on the other hand, is observed on 5th September within the Injury Prevention Week to increase awareness about spinal cord injuries. And we talked about the importance and the need for creating awareness, especially within India. Awareness that spinal cord injury is preventable, as Komalji mentioned, and that life after a spinal cord injury, if it happens, can be happy, meaningful, and worth living. Also, awareness about the need for empowerment through creating suitable infrastructure and services for management, ensuring availability of appropriate aids and appliances, and facilitating an accessible environment, what Dr. Amita Sani is so passionate about, and an inclusive, equitable society, which Preeti ji is passionate about. I'm sure all of us share that common vision. Friends, sooner or later, you realize that real fulfillment comes only from helping others. All of the rest is just temporary. On World Spinal Cord Injury Day, let's pledge to create the awareness and conviction to tap the power of the mind. It is in our hands to create a better world for all who live in it. Hence, friends, come join hands to improve spine wellness and care and to alleviate the burden of spinal injuries. Thank you very much for joining this session here. Thanks all panelists. Thanks to Dr. Amita Sani, Madhvi Hansji. Thanks to Preeti Srinivasan, to Komal Kamra and Rajdeep Barua, and to endless others who continue to inspire us and are role models, and who continue to show us the path that if you want, if wherever there is a will, there is a way, and with the power of the mind, you can achieve anything in life. So thanks also to all of our other colleagues who joined us today for this panel discussion. I'm sure you would have found the discussions very interesting, and we will all go back after this webinar more knowledgeable about how we can create opportunities through the challenges in life and how we should tackle them with the power of the mind. Thank you very much. Have a great evening, and look forward to seeing you for the remaining activities of the Injury Prevention Week. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.